Hi friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rain Boots, and today we are going to be making this adorable Easter gnome treat jar. If you'd like to make it, just boop, stick around. As always, please give this video a like so that I know you're here. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. We like to have a lot of fun, like when we make these adorable cuties using items from the Dollar Tree and our craft room. If you have a huge craft stash like I do, oh, look at this little tail. We're gonna make that out of the same stuff we're using for this guy. Speaking of what we're using, I have to tell you, I'm still trying to use up all the stuff I moved from Washington to Texas. So I'm going to use this Dollar Tree craft jar, and it's like a mini jar with a lid, but it's plastic, so it's safe for all ages. This label came off so easy, and if you're like me, that made a little happy bit to your day. Do save the lid if you're using this because I'm going to show you something else. So I'm going to be using a piece of white stiff felt, something for a nose. I'm going to use a wood ball, Mongolian faux fur or yarn. You're going to need some ribbon scraps and premium felt. They get this at the craft store. It's the 9 by 12 and it's a little thicker than the normal craft felt for kids. We're just going to measure around your jar. So if you're using these Dollar Tree jars, if you're using these Dollar Tree jars, that's a 10-inch wide to allow for a seam allowance. And I'm going to measure it 5.5 inches high. This is going to be my hat. So all I'm just going to do is cut that out into an easy peasy rectangle. No rise cuts, no triangles, no form fitting, no pi that you have to use to figure out circumference multiplied. We're just going to cut a rectangle. Do save the rest of that because we're going to do a couple things with it. Now, for the beard, you can glue it directly to the jar or do what I'm going to do. Either way, I cut a 3-inch wide by 3-inch tall V-shaped beard. And I said I'm using Mongolian fur, but you can use anything you have on hand, including brushed out yarn. So if you're new to cutting faux fur, put the pile facing down and just use an X-Acto knife to cut the fur fabric backing. All right, don't know what happened with the camera right there. Must have, I don't know. I just like skipped a dimension, I think. Anyway, you can glue it there or you can cover the jar. So I'm going to cover the jar, and just one thing to make it easy, you're just going to cover to the curves on both the top and the bottom. Makes it super simple and super quick to do, so you can bang out a lot of these if you need to for the grandkids or for a little prize and an Easter egg hunt. All right, so I'm just gonna glue that all the way down along the bottom and the top and just squishing it in. No one's gonna see the top. Now for the beard, I'm gonna cover up my line in front so it looks nice and finished in the back for our tail. And then, as you might mention, or might guess, I'm just gonna glue this right to the front of that felt. Do make sure you're not in the, like too high, just the top of the felt is totally fine. And I'm just lining it up so that I can cover up that entire line. We're gonna cover up the very top. All right, so I'm just making sure that all of the sides are down before we move on. This is our body. For the nose, you are just going to split the fur to the fabric backing. You can do this with a comb or your fingernail. All we're going to do is measure about 3/4 of an inch down to an inch, and that way we will be sure to capture our hat and have a really secure join. A little hot glue onto that fabric backing, press on the nose, and then set the body aside. All right, so I am going to create ears for my little bunny jar, and no pattern is needed. All you have to do is create an oval with 2 points and then lop one of them off. That's all you got. It's super simple. And then once I had those two, I'm going to put them, because they're not even. If you look real close at my guy, he's not perfect. But I'm just going to cut two smaller ones out of the stiff felt. And so if you don't have stiff felt, you can add wire to the inside of these ears in between the two layers if you want. A pipe cleaner would be cute, all fuzzy, but we're just going to glue these together. That's it. Now, while I'm gluing this together, I just wanted to mention, if you haven't joined us in the Facebook group, look in the description box down below. We sure would love to have you. We share everything there, not just gnomes, not just crafts. We get advice, and it's a very kind group of men and women who just share the love of crafting. Be sure to check the description box below. All right, so we can set those aside now and move back to our hat. As a reminder, this is 10 by 5.5 inches tall, and I was thinking I was just going to tie it at the top, but then I was reminded of third grade crafting. We made Valentines for our parents, and this is how we made the pouches. So you're just going to cut little slits after you fold over one side of the top of the rectangle, so it's about an inch down. And then you're just going to cut maybe quarter of an inch because again, it's going to double, right? When we open it up, boom, look at that. And we're just going to slip in some extra ribbon you have on hand. So I have this blue and white. I actually got an entire box of remnants of ribbons. So if anybody has some ideas for ribbon remnants, pop them down below in the comments section. I'm going to need a few ideas for that. All right, so we're just going in and out, in and out. We're going to start on the outside and end on the inside. And the reason is because we're going to fold over this seam in the back, and it's going to just make it easier to tie. If you have, miscounted or misthreaded, don't worry. I have made a couple of these, and you'll be able to fix your mistake, no problem, even after you glue it up. All right, don't mention like that big crease in the felt. I figured no one would actually see it once it was all tied up, but which is going to be our secret. All right, so we made sure that nothing changed and we can still fit it around the nose. And then we're just going to pop a little bit of glue here and let that sit. So if we don't let the hot glue sit, we have a danger of just moving it. So I am going to make sure that it still fits over the little nose the way I want to. So I pop it back on just to make sure I didn't glue it too narrow. And then I'm just going to glue this back up. Easy peasy, right? If you are a member of the Facebook group, let us know down in the comments section. I just think it's like one of the most pleasant places on the internet right now. We don't do anything heavy. We help each other. Let me know if you like being a part of that group. Again, it's called DIY Gnomes and Other Crafts with Friends. All right, once that is all glued up, again, I test fit this thing 622 times, but I'm just making sure I can get it over the nose and then tip it down and back for a nice little hat style. But you know what this allows me to do? See where to place the ears. Isn't that nice? So all we're going to do for the ears, you don't have to mark on yours, but I just wanted to show you. You can actually mark on the felts, just make a little line, and then that way you can just fold it over and cut it, or put something in between it and use an X-Acto knife, whatever you have on hand. But I'm just going to make these two little cuts. And then, I don't know why I got the cutting mat out, but I'm just gonna make these two little cuts and we're gonna tuck the ears right in here. So you add a little bit of glue either before you squish it in or after, and I'm just gonna hold that while the glue dries. If you would like to pull them back a little bit, you can add a little glue back here, also for stability. For those of you wondering, that is a detailed tip glue gun from Surebonder. I get it on Amazon. I love them. And you can ask other people, but I think it's one of the most well-made glue guns for small crafts. And it lasts quite a while. All right, so I'm just gonna tuck this on. And I like to put a little glue over like where the nose is gonna be right on the hat, but we're gonna move in the back first. I'm just gonna glue this down all the way around. Make sure you don't get that ribbon in there. And that is gonna be our structure for the stability of our hat. All right, when you squish it up, this is what it's going to look like. You can tie it into the bow and back, tie it in front, make a knot, whatever you'd like to do. There you go. And then you can decorate it with whatever you would like as well. But I think it needs something. Like, he's cute. Don't get me wrong. Super cute. But he doesn't have a tail. So we have to remedy that. You can use a pom-pom, or you can just cut off 1 square inch of the same faux fur you were using and take the hot glue gun to the corners and turn them all into the center. Ready? You can use a face mask spatula or a wood stick to make sure you don't glue your fingers into this nice little poof ball we're making. But once you get all corners in, you just add a little bit more glue and squish the entire thing together. Once dry, roll it between your hands, give it a haircut. This is one of my favorite parts. And then you just glue it to the bunny booty. Ready? Just squish it on there. I'm just hiding the seam that I created. And I give it a little fluff and the bottom is done. Look at him. Now he's ready to go, right? Or we could add extra because come on, I have these left over from the Highland Cow tutorial and I thought those blues kind of match. So yep, I'm just gonna glue on. I just cut the wires off of them and I'm gonna glue 4 or 5 of these guys on, whatever I had left from that. Again, I'm trying to use everything up in my craft room. And now he's done. Is he? Is he? No, he's not because he needs some trees inside. I love these rock candies, so I'm going to pop some of these in here along with a couple of other little treats for my daughter. And then you can tie it up, and when you tie it up, it like makes it all look nice. Add a little bow in front or back, and then guess what? Now he's done. I think he's cute, but I would love to hear what you think. Let me know down in the comments below when you make it. Look at that bunny booty. As always, thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe for more crafty fun.